Welcome back for another video. Who are the best FPL managers around the world buying and selling for Gameweek 13? It's a stacked one this week. We've also got a ton of chips active. And we've got 3 game weeks in 7 days from Saturday, which you can't beat. It's the best time of the season. And there are opportunities to move up the ranks and up your mini leagues really fast if you make some good decisions. So let's break it all down nice and simple. Exciting news, I've teamed up with Football Manager to have another crack at this week's FPL challenge. So the prize, in case you missed it, is to be a new gen player in the new Football Manager, which I genuinely think is the coolest prize FPL ever done. I've played every Football Manager since 2013, as you can see. The challenge is called Out of Possession, which celebrates FM26 now having in and out of possession formations for the first time ever. So it's 1 point per recovery, so we want to target recoveries. They simulated an entire Premier League season, and here's what the best assets were after 38 game weeks. And using that simulation, they've built a team for the challenge, and the team is Roofs, Mitchell, Walker and Dye, Zoboslai and Haaland. Mitchell captain, which is pretty bold, but I don't know, let's see. Maybe Mbumo and Ahmad give him a rough time down that side. I went with a different formation to FM's team, so I'll show you my team and let's compare. So in goal we're going with Martinez. In defence, Coyote, good clean sheet odds, and 53 recoveries is actually 4th most of all defenders in the league. In midfield, I've gone with Bruno, who's got the 2nd most recoveries of all mids with 74. 14.9 minutes per recovery. And then Saka. Now this one might surprise you, but Saka's averaging a recovery every 15.7 minutes, just behind Bruno. And then we've gone with Anderson, who's the best in the league with a recovery every 11 minutes. So that's about 8 per game, so roughly 8 guaranteed points on average. And then Haaland up top, of course. So it's Anderson captain, because we're going to have to go for it to try and win this. FM went Mitchell captain, who had the most in their simulation, and I've gone with Anderson for the same reason, with the most this season. So make sure you have a go at this week's FPL challenge as well and try out the new FM26. Big thanks to Football Manager, and there's a link below to play and a link below to get the game. Manager highlight first, and have a look at this. Jamie McDonald has moved top of the Experts League after a score of 61 points. He's finished top 1k before, and now he sits 8.3k overall, which is a crazy rank at this stage. He still hasn't wildcarded, used the free hit or the bench boost yet either, which is even crazier. That's some genuinely elite squad management to pull that off at this stage. No chance I'd be able to do that. He's got his free hit active for Gameweek 13 as well. Did you manage to beat the average score of 48 points last game week? This week, 25% are rolling, 28% making 1 transfer, and 10% making 2. No one's making more than 2. However, we've got 37% sitting on an active chip, which might be the most of the season or thereabouts. It's free hits and wildcards active. We'll have a look at the best free hit and wildcard drafts in a second. So who are they buying and who are they selling? Number 1 this week, it's Thiago, with a pretty irresistible fixture home to Burnley. No one's conceded more than Burnley's 36 big chances, and the following stats are also worse in the league. 139 shots in the box conceded, 68 outside the box conceded, 25.72 XG conceded. 9 goals from Thiago places him firmly in 2nd as it stands behind Haaland as well. The slight caveat with the Brentford assets is they do have Arsenal away midweek in Gameweek 14, so ideally you want to be in a position to bench them for that game. On the free hits, 7% are buying Kelleher, 12% also opting for Schade, 7% Van den Berg. Schade's underlying numbers have been superior to Dango's, which makes sense why he's the more popular player here. If you've got a choice of either, I'd go for Schade, but both are solid free hit choices. The most sold list is João Pedro, then Enzo, then Reinders, Gabriel and Tarkowski. 16% are using the free hit opportunity to pick up Salah despite Liverpool's woeful form. It's crazy, isn't it? From winning the league last season to now some fans calling for Slot to be sacked. And ultimately they are facing a West Ham side who have been really poor themselves. But yeah, 4-1 home defeat by Liverpool to PSV. Another shock in the Champions League. Liverpool have lost 9 of their last 12 games now. Pep also did lose midweek himself in the Champions League, but he rotated basically the entire 11, which as a consequence has made O'Reilly, Foden, maybe Doku really tempting free hit picks. Foden I think has got the potential to be a good longer term choice as a free transfer, but O'Reilly and Doku maybe carry a little bit of risk for the occasional benching. I mean, don't get me wrong, Foden could miss a game or 2 as well, but if you're ranking their nailedness, I'd say Foden, O'Reilly, then Doku. Man City versus Leeds, certainly a fixture to target on the free hit. They're top for both clean sheet odds and projected goals this game week. Brentford are second on the clean sheet odds and also joint second with Liverpool for projected goals, which does explain why we're seeing Gakpo and Salah appearing on some free hits despite the form. Aston Villa are home to Wolves and they're third on the clean sheet odds, hence we've got Martinez and Cash's names popping up for the free hitters. It's a really busy week for chips. 4% have wildcarded, 33% have free hit, and 21% have got the triple captain active. Lewis has activated his free hit, and this is a top manager here. He's aiming for a 4th top 10k in a row in fact, and his team on the free hit is Martinez, O'Reilly, Cash, Van den Berg. In midfield it's Salah, Foden, Gakpo, Rodgers and Schade, and up front Haaland and Thiago, so a 3-5-2. So I've decided to free hit this week as I believe it's a good week to play the chip. Arsenal and Palace, which people are heavily loaded on, have got their most difficult fixture in the next few weeks, albeit after Monday United might be a fixture to target. I always like to build a free hit defence with high clean sheet odds defenders, with an outside chance of an attacking return, which I believe Cash and O'Reilly have. Man City, Aston Villa and Brentford sit highest in the clean sheet odds this week, and due to doubling up on Man City and Brentford attacks, I've gone double Villa defence. Villa are coming off back-to-back clean sheets at home, and Wolves are a great team to target. Van den Berg is a good enabler for this week. He's hit DEFCON in 3 of the last 4 games, so there's a good chance he walks away with an 8-pointer. O'Reilly should start after his midweek rest, and he's averaged 10 points in his last 3 home games. In midfield I've gone for double Liverpool attack. Salah hasn't been a 14 million asset, however for 1 week only I couldn't go without, and Gakpo I trust to start with the injury to Wirtz. Liverpool have been poor recently, but they're still the champions, so I want a few. Foden is a punt, but he's a City player who should start, and Leeds is such a great fixture. The 2 7 million mids have got great fixtures, both nailed for 90 minutes and haven't left a draft. The forwards are template this week, and it's not hard to see why. Pens and great fixtures, so I had to have them in. Only Haaland remains from my non-free hit team, so I'm 10 changes, which seems like a good use of the chip. Good luck everyone. And lastly, Pearce has wildcarded, and his team is Verbruggen, O'Reilly, Van Dijk, Timber, Munoz, Semenyo, Doku, Rice, Mbeumo, Thiago and Haaland. He's got a really strong bench on the wildcard. It's Dubravka, Voltemada, Calafiori and Potts. Pearce also happened to get the biggest score of all the top all-time managers last week, 85 points he got last game week. Fresh off the back of a game week rank of 10k and a green arrow from 800k to 100k, I wanted to keep the momentum going. I always identified this week due to City and Liverpool fixture swings, so I decided to stick to my plan. City are the main target for the wildcard. Verbruggen was in my original team and he served me well. I liked the rotation with him and Dubravka, with Dubravka at home during Verbruggen's tougher games. Virgil is the only asset from Liverpool that I semi-like. Liverpool easier fixtures and poor form will hopefully lead to better performances. Virgil has a floor of 3 also. Double Arsenal defence. It's straightforward and I'm going to be starting them every week going after this first one. O'Reilly, Doku and Haaland are City's main 3 stand-up players this year and was always in during this good run. Munoz served me well last week and Palace defence is always solid. So Semenyo, although the fixtures slightly turned for Bournemouth, I want to stick with Semenyo as Bournemouth are always good for goals and I think his form will turn. Rice is in for some Arsenal cover, set piece threat and guaranteed 90 minutes, which is a big appeal with many players returning from injury. Mbeumo's appealing between now and AFCON and he'll move on following the extra transfers I get. Thiago's the main man in form and I'm happy to bench next week for the trip to Arsenal. And lastly Voltemada, I like him from next week onwards and I'm happy to bench this week. Thanks very much for sending in guys and best of luck on the chips. We didn't get a chance to also discuss the 21% triple captains, but I highly recommend watching my team selection video if you've not watched that already, because mine is active and I talked a lot about it in that when discussing Haaland. Speaking of Haaland, we'll keep the captaincy segment probably world record speed here. Haaland's got 99% of the vote, Thiago 1%. Best of luck to the brave one Thiago captainer. Experts team next then. A bit of a shake up to the team. It's Raya in goal still. It's Richards, Van Dijk and Senesi in defence. Semenyo, Bruno, Sarr and Saka in midfield. And then up front, Mateta, Haaland and Thiago. And the bench is Dubravka, Anderson, King and Rodon. And we're back on a 3-4-3. Thiago shoots straight into the team as the third forward. Timber is actually in fact higher owned than Richards, but we've got Richards in to basically keep the team reasonable within budget. I'm sure there's a few regrets currently on opting for Van Dijk over Timber last game week, but let's see how the winter period plays out. As it stands, just a 2-point difference. Probably wishful thinking as a Van Dijk owner myself, but maybe they'll turn things around, or maybe that 2-point difference is the smallest the gap will be and it's about to get worse. Final thoughts and tips before Game Week 13. Here's what the top all-time managers wanted to say to you. FPL Sizz has got the free active but does recognise some risk. Easy decision to free hit this week because I don't see a better game week to use it. It's very possible that my original team outscores my free hit team, but I like these 1 week puns and packing against Arsenal, Man United and Palace players. Haaland and Thiago are the safest choices up front, but I'd really like to chase the upside with my midfielders Salah, Gakpo, Foden, Rodgers and Sharda. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of them benched and the starters blank, but at least I'm excited at the start of the game week. I don't have much money left for defence, but I'm hoping clean sheets for Brentford and Villa. FPL Soccer's strategy was to dead-end Chelsea players into that Burnley game last game week, wildcard them back out and free hit in Game Week 14. I'm finally playing the wildcard after navigating the season with just 3 transfers and a couple of hits so far. I dead-ended into triple Chelsea, so it makes sense to get rid of them now before they face Arsenal. Triple Brentford is a lock for me, as I plan on free hit 14, avoiding their game against Arsenal. Van Dijk misses out, even though I just bought him last week, because I can't trust Liverpool at the moment. I'm really happy to be bringing in Saka, Foden and Mbeumo to strengthen my midfield. Thiago also seems like a no-brainer up front. TomTom says, very swingy week coming up with the free hitters versus non-free hitters. I would not have much confidence in Liverpool at all. And lastly, Classy Football says, I'm using the extra budget from selling Gabriel last week as I'm planning to upgrade Krupi Jr. to Thiago. I'm also thinking this might be the perfect week to play the triple captain on Haaland. He's rested midweek and he looks fully fit. Thank you very much for watching everyone. Hit subscribe for free below if you enjoyed the video. There's a link below for this week's FPL challenge and to buy Football Manager. Thanks for their support as well. We're going to hear from the #1 all-time manager Tom Dollymore as well, including his team and his chip strategy in the morning. See you then.